This is figure 3-68 on page 86 of the mechanical drawing textbook. If you study this problem carefully, you'll notice that we've got a very large drawing here. This brick in the center here is an 8-inch wide brick, and we have 3 3/4 inch wide brick on either side. So if you add that up, you're talking about over 15 inches worth of drawing. Now our drawing layouts are only 10.5 inches wide, so obviously it's not going to fit on the layout. So what I recommend you do is just find a spot either on the right or left hand side of your layout. You can pan, and I would create the drawing in this area and then draw it full size, and then we're going to use the scale command to scale it down half size. The book actually says use 3/4 size scale, but it's still not going to fit if you use that scale, so we're going to knock it down to 1/2 size. Alright, another thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use the rectangle command to create all these bricks with. It's a new command that you need to get used to using. And I'm also going to introduce a little concept that I use quite regularly. I'm going to draw a line to locate the corners of my other bricks, and I'll show you how to do that in just a second. So first things first, I'm just going to come over here to the left here so we can see, and I'm going to start my rectangle tool, and I'm going to come over here, I'm going to start my first point. I'm going to click for my first point, and the command line says specify other corner point. Now if you haven't already done so, you need to get in the habit of reading what's in the command line. It says specify other point. So I'm going to draw this first rectangle, and it's 3 3/4. I know it's 3 3/4 by 2 3/4. So my second point is going to be at 3.75 comma 2.75. Alright, now I said I was going to use a line command to locate the other points and objects. So here's what I mean by that. There's 1/2 an inch between these bricks. So I'm going to use a line command. I'm going to come down here, and I'm going to click right on the lower right hand corner of that brick, and I'm just going to make a 1/2 inch line at 0.5 comma 0. Click enter twice, and now if I start my second brick, the lower left hand corner of that second brick right on the end point of that line, I will have located it perfectly. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to click the rectangle tool, and I'm going to click on the end point of that line, and now I type in at 8 comma, and my y value or height is going to be 2.75. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to click this line tool, and I'm going to make at 0.5 comma 0. I'm also going to introduce something called the copy command, which comes in handy. Doesn't look like I'm going to get over there. I'm going to try this. Alright, listen, I'm going to have to delete my picture here, or I'm going to have to move it to get some other space. Alright. There we go. I'm still going to have to move it some more. Sorry for the interruption. I'll be right with you. I ran out of space on my object. There we go. I'll put it up there. Now I should have plenty of space. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to move these pieces. There we go. Alright, now I'm going to use the copy command. Right up here is the copy object command. It's 3 circles. I'm going to click it, and I'm going to highlight this square. I'm going to right mouse click to activate it, and I'm going to select a lower left hand corner as my base point. I'm going to come over and I'm going to snap it right to that end. Alright, I'm going to use the line tool, and I'm going to go up a 1/2 inch at 0 comma 0.5, and now I'm going to use the copy object tool, and I'm going to copy this one brick, and I'm going to use this lower left hand corner
Mike Wormy, can you call the main office? Mike Wormy, can you call the main office?
I'm going to keep going with this little procedure at 0.5, 0. And I'm going to copy this again. There we go. And now I'm going to move up another 1/4 of an inch. I'm sorry, 1/2 an inch. But this time I'm going to select all these objects. I'm going to copy this entire pattern because if you look closely to the picture, that's what it is. I'm going to click this lower left-hand corner and I'm going to copy it and I'm going to put it up on that pattern. I need to do some work here. I've got to go back and I've got to delete some lines. There we go. Now I said I'm done, but I gotta scale it. And what we're going to use is a scale command. You should see it. It's about midway in your modify toolbar. I'm going to click that and it says select objects in the command line. I'm going to window this entire piece. Alright, I'm going to right mouse click and to activate it. Now I'm going to specify this lower left hand corner as my base point. And if you look, as I move the mouse, it's resizing the object, which is very inaccurate. We want to type in 0.5 for a scale to make it perfectly accurate. And now I can come back over here and I can use my polyline command to center it. I'm going to click a line from there to there, that corner to that corner. Alright, now I'm going to move. Use my center command to center this piece. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so I can find my midpoint of that object. Make sure I'm on the right one. And I select the midpoint of this object. Now I can delete my polyline. And when you're done, yours should look very similar to mine. Okay, make sure you change your date, make sure your brick pattern is written into your description, and save it as your first initial last name 3-68.